Hefferren here. I'm doing this video with Jonathan Manske. He's the author of a book that I just finished. It's called The Law of Attraction Made Simple, Magnetize Your Heartfelt Desires. And I love this book so much that I asked Jonathan to do this interview with me, and I'm very honored that he granted me this interview. The reason why I like this book is because everybody's watched The Secret, I'm sure, or read the book. It's very popular, and it's very powerful. But something that's missing in The Secret is the way to actually apply the theory that they talk about in that movie. And that's really where this book picks up, in my opinion. It's, I kind of consider it a workbook, actually, to The Secret. So I asked Jonathan to give me this interview. I think maybe we might do a series of interviews. There's so much to cover. I don't think we can, do it justice in a short video, so I want to do a series of them. So we're just going to dialogue and see how it goes. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, what you said there, that's exactly why I wrote the book. Because, well, first of all, the law of attraction it's just a rebranding thing. These are ideas that have been around for thousands and thousands of years. They've just recently got this nifty new name, which is the law of attraction. And the basis of the law of attraction is that what's going on up here in our heads, it really does matter. Your thoughts, your attitudes, and especially what's going on beneath the surface at a non-conscious level totally determines your outcomes. So
right.
Today's thoughts, today's attitudes, today's non-conscious programming creates tomorrow's outcomes. This has got this fancy name, the law of attraction. And there's a lot of buzz about it, a lot of awareness,
sure.
But there's not very much how-to. Like, okay, well, how do I change my thoughts? How do I change my attitudes? That kind of thing. So someone will get all excited about this and nowhere to go. And so this book is it's full of tips and tools and techniques that are easy to use, easy to understand, and easy to apply, where you can start to change your thoughts, attitudes, and non-conscious programming, and then create different outcomes in your life.
Right.
And I keep pointing to this, none of the book here is theory. This is all from real people, from out in the field, from working with people and seeing where people are getting in their own way of success, where they're tripping themselves up, where they're blocking themselves, and what they could do about it. And I'd see that in one person, look around and go, oh, and that's here, and there. Here's what we can do about it. So there's nothing theoretical in there. It's all really tried and true solutions that have made a difference for people where they were stuck.
Right. Now, so you mentioned working with other people. So let's just tell our viewers real quick a little bit about you. You're a life coach. What's your background?
My background is that about 20 years ago I lived in the Philippines and I studied with an energy healing master, and I became an expert in human energy. So I'm an expert in human energy. Quantum physics says that everything is energy, so if we put those two sentences together, then I'm an expert in everything. And that sounds a little on the conceited side. And the grain of truth in that is that I can look at literally any aspect of a person's business or life from this really unique viewpoint, this energy viewpoint, and I can literally see obstacles to their success, see things that they don't even know are there. And we've all had this. Here's a good example of this. You ever had this where, like, maybe there's a prospect you knew you should call, and you go, okay, I'll call them today. And then all of a sudden it's like quitting time and you haven't called. And you go, okay, tomorrow's the day I'm going to call.
Right.
And like 3 days later you still haven't called them, right? It's like you're hitting this invisible brick wall. And
Sounds
it's like,
familiar.
I should be able to do this, and for some reason I can't. Now whether it's something simple like calling this prospect, or maybe it's something bigger like I want to achieve a certain level of financial success, or I want to achieve a certain quality of relationship, or whatever, right? We've all had these experiences, and it's like there's this gosh darn invisible brick wall.
Right, and you don't know. It's like you want to get somewhere, you don't know why.
And it's frustrating. I should be able to. Why can't I do this? Right? Well, it's because there's head trash going on up in here that's getting in your way that absolutely stops you. And I don't remember where I was going with this because you asked me a question, and
I probably interrupted you. Well, I just wondered. You mentioned that a lot of what's in here is not just theory, but things you've experienced.
You asked me about the work I do with people.
Right.
So that's my work. I work with people and I say, what is that head trash? What's this stuff that's going on inside your head that stands in your way between you and success? And I've had, there's one guy, we did one session together. We cleared out some of his head trash, and within 2 weeks his business had grown by 40%.
Wow.
And he didn't roll out a new marketing plan. He didn't do a new marketing strategy. We just took out the head trash, and boom, his business jumped.
That's
another
amazing.
lady went from her worst month of sales ever to her best month after doing a session. And again, no new marketing plan, no new marketing strategy. She just stopped fighting herself in her own head. She just got out of her own way. This invisible brick wall was gone, and she was free to move forward.
Wow.
All right. So that's the work I do, and that's what the stuff in this book comes from, is that work I've done with people where I say, oh my gosh, here's how this person's getting in their own way of success. And we're humans. We all share these things. So there's stuff that's going to help everyone in that book.
Right.
At least that's my belief.
It definitely does, and I've already started implementing some of the techniques. What I love is that in each chapter you introduce a new concept or a new formula, and you explain it very well, and then at the very end you give, how to apply this to, like, okay, I get it, but now what? Where do I go from here? And at the end of every chapter you say, here's how to put it into practice. Very specific, simple techniques to really start bringing about some changes in your life.
Yeah, I'm big into practical. Like fabulous experiences or meditational experiences are great, but where's the practical out of that?
Right,
How can we use this? How can we use this right now and make a difference? Because otherwise, what's the point? So I have a very practical bent to my life.
Absolutely. Let's for the sake of simplicity and keeping this short and brief, let's just give people maybe one little tickler that's in here, and then we'll stop this video and then we'll pick up with the series after that. So let's say, what would you tell somebody if they came to you and why don't you just talk about what's your favorite tip in here? There's so many that I don't know, and they all apply to different things. But
I'm not going to say this is favorite, but this is an easy one to quickly share.
Okay, we'll just
and
introduce
it. In general, people are not very good at receiving compliments. You get a compliment and you kind of do that, right back at you, or oh, this thing, I found it in the dumpster, or whatever, right? Instead of just letting that compliment in and letting it resonate through your body and going, oh, well, thank you. Right. Oh yeah, you look great too. We deflect and that sort of thing. Well, think about this. Money is a compliment. Let's say I go into your store and I buy this shirt, and I give you my money. I go, hey, I find this shirt to be valuable. Would you please take my money? So money is a form of a compliment. Or I go, for a service. You got to go to your restaurant. You cook me a meal. I found this food valuable. Here's money. It's a way of saying thank you. So whenever we resist receiving compliments, then it makes it harder for money to come into our lives. And if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business person, referrals, it's the same thing. Right. A referral is a compliment. Your work is incredible. Let me tell my friends. Right? If you can't take in my work is incredible, but you got to block that and push it back towards me, then it's harder for referrals to come into your life. Right. It's harder for money to come into your life. So whenever somebody compliments you, to your best of your ability, freak out a little inside and just go, thank you. And just take it in to the best of your ability.
That sounds so simple, but that really is very hard
for a lot of people. And that gets into stuff we'll probably talk about later here about non-conscious programming.
Like, why is it like that? Why can't you receive it?
Because there is a lot of head trash about receiving compliments. Because we received all these messages as kids. Don't toot your own horn, be modest, don't be a arrogant blowhard, all that sort of stuff. Right, so we've got this head trash in there that makes it hard for us to receive a compliment.
Okay, great. That's a great one. Okay, so we'll dive further into that one and much more into this tips and tricks and the Law of Attraction Made Simple, Magnetize Your Heartfelt Desires by Jonathan Manske. Subscribe to this channel. There's a button up top there so you can subscribe and know when the next video comes out. And Jonathan, where can people pick up a copy of your book?
It's available at Amazon, and you can also get it at my website, which is jonathanmanske, manske.com.
Okay, and if somebody wanted to call you for a coaching session, are you available for that?
303-552-7285, 303-552-7285. And again, there's a contact me information at jonathanmanske.com.
Great. Thank you so much for doing this with me. Okay, stay tuned. Thank you, Jonathan.